What's up, guys? Before I get into the video, I made this video before this breaking news came out. Mike Macdonald is our head coach. He will be our head coach, and he was now the youngest head coach in the league. But we got our guy. We got him. So here's to a new era in Seattle, and hope you enjoy the video. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to J Sports Seattle. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the head coaching search. I'm going to be talking about this one candidate that I think I might have mentioned in my previous video when I was talking about Ben Johnson, but I'm going to talk about him now since there has been some huge news regarding him. And I'm just going to be talking about if we were to hire him as our head coach, the situation he'd be coming into. So, if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Seahawks and Seattle sports content. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. Alright, so as you know, there's the head coaching search for the Seahawks has been very, very volatile the past week. There's been a lot going on. We interviewed Dan Quinn once more last week, and then we interviewed Ben Johnson again in Detroit. But as you know, Ben Johnson is staying in Detroit. He will not be going to either Seattle or Washington for a head coaching gig because he said he wants to stay there and try to get one more shot of bringing a Lombardi, to Detroit. Even though that's who I wanted and that's who I thought John Schneider was going to go for, there's a reason. But I feel like there was a deeper meaning to that. Yes, he wanted to stay in Detroit, but it's usually that also could mean that one, the teams both he didn't like what both Seattle and Washington had to offer, or vice versa. We didn't like what he had to offer, and I think it's not necessarily like his coaching style. It's just how much he wanted, how much he was asking, his asking price. I was seeing reports of like $15 million a year, which is like just absurd for a first-year head coach. But he could also stayed there because he felt like he wasn't confident enough to become a head coach, which is honestly probably better for the Seahawks, because you don't want to get a coach that's not ready. You don't want to go out and get a first-year head coach that's not ready to be a head coach. So that's fine. But as you know, I was also saying how I wouldn't mind Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald is an amazing defensive coordinator. As you know, he has led the Ravens defense. He was a defensive coordinator for the Ravens for last year and the year before in 2022, and has led the Ravens to a top 3 defense. So that's why I was like, okay, I want us to go offensive, but I feel like he would be good because he would definitely turn our defense around. But per Tom Pelissero, we are bringing Mike Macdonald to Seattle, or he's already there as of the making of this video, I'm pretty sure, for a second interview for the head coaching job, per sources. And the thing is, this comes a day after we interviewed him in Baltimore, which is huge, because that's got to happen. That you can't look at that and take that lightly. I feel like this is the first time I've heard so far this season where a team had two interviews with a head coaching candidate on back-to-back days. We interviewed him in Baltimore, and he flew all the way out to Seattle to have a second interview. That's probably a sign that we are going to sign him as our head coach, and that we're probably just showing him the facility and stuff, and see what he thinks about it. And you know, that means that we like what he had to say, and he probably likes what we had to say. So this is a sign, and I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the day it is made official and Mike Macdonald becomes the next head coach for Seattle. But moving on to I'm gonna move on to his the team that he was coordinating. I mean, look at that. 16.5 points per game, best defense in the league, and even in the playoffs, best defense in the league. 13.5, that's Legion of Boom stuff right there, man. Yes, they didn't go to the Super Bowl. That's because the offense sold. Lamar and the offense sold. But yeah, in 2023, this year, 16%. That is nuts. And I think one of the better third down defenses. Yes, only like top 10 in third down conversion rate. Like, look at us. We are bottom 3 in getting off the field on third down. Not good. Not good at all. So QBR, Baltimore led the league in that. Passing yards per game, top 10, top 6. Rushing yards per game. Just outside of the top 10, but still, overall, an insane defense. Yards per game, top 6. But this is what really matters in the end, is points per game. They only allowed 16 points per game, 17 if you want to round up, but I'm not going to do that. That is insane. Led the league in sacks. Top 6 in time in possession. That is because of their defense. And that is because of Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald coordinated a really good defense over there. And even in 2022, if you look at 2022, top 3 defense. Look at that. Top 3 scoring defense, 18 points per game. And then you look at 2021, the year where he didn't come, they're not even in the top 10 in scoring. They're down here. Where are they? They're right here. They're like below average in defense, 23 points per game. And then Mike Macdonald comes around in 2022 and boom, turns that defense around, makes it a top 3 scoring unit. So if you look at Mike Macdonald, he's been a defensive coordinator for 3 straight years. He was a defensive coordinator at Michigan. And they had a good defense. And then he went to Baltimore and became a defensive coordinator for another 2 years. And if you look at what he's been doing, he's always been with the Ravens. Coaching intern, defensive assistant, defensive backs coach, linebackers coach. Now this is the thing I like. There's a difference between Pete Carroll and Mike Macdonald. I'm not trying to put Pete Carroll down, obviously, because I have so much respect for Pete Carroll. I'm just trying to, compare and contrast. The thing is Pete Carroll was mainly a defensive backs coach. But the thing is he was a defensive backs coach for a year and then a linebackers coach. So that means he has a variety in his skill set. He's not specifically defensive backs. He can work with linebackers alongside with defensive backs, which would be huge because we can get ourselves a good linebacker. Linebackers for us have been an issue ever since, except for having Bobby. But they literally have 2 Pro Bowl linebackers, interior linebackers. We've never had that, even during the Legion of Boom. I think maybe one year KJ Wright and Bobby made the Pro Bowl together as interior linebackers, but that's never really heard of. Even the Niners don't have only one interior linebacker that's an All-Pro. I'm thinking All-Pro, and that's Fred Warner. So that would definitely help us with our linebackers, because ever since we had Cody Barton, that was a mess. There was someone else that we had, it was just a mess at our linebacker position the year that in 2021, the year that not 2021, 22, the year that Bobby left. Our linebackers was horrible at stopping the run. So I feel like he'd be better to coach them. But yeah, this is what we would be getting. We would be getting someone who can coach, who can scheme a really, really good defense. And like I was saying, he's a first-time head coach, and this is what John was wanting. He was wanting a head coach that he could have under his wing and that he could pick his coaching candidates or his coaching staff, because John did say that he would have had full control over who the coaching staff was going to be, and which is why I thought he was going to go for a younger head coach, especially a first-time head coach, because a first-time head coach is not going to know how to pick his coordinators. He's going to look up to the GM to do that. And then, John has experience. He's been in the league he's been on the Seahawks as our GM for 15 years, going on 15 years. So he would know what to do. And he's a Super Bowl winning GM. He would know what to do. And that's why, and I'm sure Mike Macdonald liked that. He's like that. He's going to a franchise that has been pretty successful for the past decade, past 15 years even. And with a successful GM, good ownership, great front office, and we have some weapons on that defense. We got Witherspoon, we got Woolen, we got Boye Mafe. Derek Hall should be on the come up. Cameron Young should take a step up. Who else? I mean, all of our young guys on that defense. And then we're gonna get Mike Morris back. Hopefully he can take a step up from last year. So we got ballers in the defense that he would be getting, and I think he probably liked that, which is why we are flying him back to Seattle literally a day after we interviewed him in Baltimore. So this is a very good sign, and there's a chance that he will be our head coach by the end of the day or tomorrow, because this doesn't happen often when you have back-to-back days interviews on back-to-back days. So, but this is the situation he'd be coming into. We are not really looking too hot in terms of cap space. We are negative cap space right now at negative 800,000. Not really good. But I've seen reports that after it's all said and done, we should have around $12 million in cap space when we do like cuts and stuff. Not really a lot to work with, which is why I don't think we're probably not going to do much in free agency this year, and instead rely on the draft, because we do still have some of our draft picks, and I'll get to that in a second. We're probably going to rely on our draft picks, because John Schneider is still good, is a good GM. He knows how to draft, so we are probably going to be doing that. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to our cap space situation, I feel like we got to cut, like Diggs has got to go, Jamal's got to go, Monet's definitely gone. I'm sure we're cutting Monet because he hasn't done anything for us. And we have Jaron Reed on another year, and then we got Cameron Young, that's a nose tackle that we drafted. So we're gonna have some cap space, but we're not really enough. And that also is we still have pending free agents, like Brooks is a free agent. Leonard Williams will be a free agent since we traded for him. Kobe Parkinson's a free agent. Noah Fant's a free agent. We're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna do. I think we need to re-sign Fant. Fant's a good tight end. Re-sign Parkinson. Keep that continuity for our offense. But yeah, we'll figure it out. The new league year starts in March, I'm pretty sure. So John's got some time to figure it out. Here's our draft situation. We still have 7 picks. You know, we don't have a second rounder because we traded for Leonard Williams, but we could trade up to the second round if we decide to take our third rounders and trade it to a team that wants a second rounder, or that wants third rounders. And we could also, you know, if we don't re-sign Leonard Williams, we could theoretically get a third round comp pick. It's not guaranteed that we would get a third round comp pick, but we could theoretically get a third round comp pick, have 3 third rounders, use 2 of them to trade up to the second round, and we would have rounds 1 through 7. And we didn't lose any of our draft picks by trading for Leonard Williams. But that's assuming we do get a third round comp pick for not re-signing Leonard Williams. But yeah, that's the situation we're in with our draft picks. And like I said, John is good at finding diamonds in the rough. I mean, Williams was a 5th rounder, and you just look at our past drafts from Legion of Boom days. We'll be in a good spot. And yeah, we'll figure out our cap space situation. And I don't know what it's looking like in 2025, but update 42. Ooh, yeah. But that's assuming. But that's a year in the future. That's assuming we haven't made cuts. It'll probably change by then. So back to 2024. And also, he is also inheriting a relatively young team. The team is still top 10 youngest in the league. The league average is 26.55. We are 26.65, so we're barely. Wait. Give me a second. Oh, here we are. We're actually one of the older teams in the league, but that's because we have people like Bobby Wagner. We have Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, Tyler Lockett, all those veterans that are, and Leonard Williams, that are and Geno obviously, that make the team slightly older than it really is. We have a lot of young players on the team that he would be getting. So I assume that after we end, I would assume that after we cut some people, our average age will go down, and our cap space will go up too. Because we, like I said, we're probably going to cut Monet. There's a chance we're probably going to cut Diggs, because the only reason why we have Diggs was because of Pete Carroll. There's a chance, or not Diggs, Adams, and Diggs. Honestly, those two could be gone by the end of this, end of this year, or we could trade them. We could trade Diggs. There's a chance we could trade for Diggs, or trade Diggs and get more and load up on draft capital, which I'd honestly favor that, trading Diggs than cutting him. But we'll see what happens. Only time will tell, and we still have our draft picks. So basically, Macdonald would come into a good position, and I mean, this is. I think this might be your guy. This might be the guy that we are going to have as our head coach from moving on, post Pete Carroll, and I'm okay with it. I'm honestly okay with it, because I trust in John Schneider. I trust he knows what he's doing, and I trust that he can figure out the offense and get an offensive coordinator that can run our offense, because our offense wasn't really that good this year. It was 17th in scoring. Started off hot, but there you could see that we took a step back. Waldron took a step back in play calling this year. And also, I mean, to be fair, we did have our O-linemen were hurt a lot of the time. We were missing our starting right tackle for a majority of the season. Charles Cross went down for a bit. So hopefully this next year we'll have a better time. But yeah, this is it. I think this is going to be our head coach, and I'm honestly I'm all for it. And we're going to be moving on. So, but I think that's all I have for this video. Let me know your thoughts below on if you think Mike Macdonald would be a good head coach for the Seahawks. I will be making a Mariners video sometime soon, because there's been a lot going on. I just saw that we traded for Jorge Polanco from the Twins. He's good at second base. Very good pickup. And we made another trade from the Royals. We got Samad Taylor, I think. I'm going to make a video on that sometime soon, because we're coming up. Spring training is less than a month away. So I'm going to do like a preview of the Mariners. Kraken, I don't know if I'm going to make a video on them anytime soon, to be honest. It's been rough for them. We just lost to the San Jose Sharks last night. Not a good look at all, because they are one of the worst teams in the league. But yeah, stay tuned for a Mariners video coming out soon, and I will probably make another short video, or maybe a short, just updating, talking when we get our head coach, because it's going to be within the next 24 hours that we're going to have a head coach. So I feel like, so stay tuned for that. If you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Seahawks and Seattle sports content. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good day, and go Hawks, go Mariners, and go Kraken.